Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Zaggertastic video. I'm your friend, the one, the only, Z.A. Zaggard, and I am joined with...
Claire, hi.
So, we are watching through Hunter x Hunter right now. This is my second time watching it, and this is your first time, right?
Yeah.
But you've heard the theme song like 1,000 times. Yeah, I always play it, because I just really like it. It's just like perfect energy for me.
Yeah, and he used to play it like so much before we even started watching the show, so now I'm like... Oh yeah, this is my jam. Like I love it, and I'm singing it all the time. It's the most addictive song.
Yeah, it's really catchy, but it's also just really energetic, and it's not annoyingly catchy. It's just like, it just gets in your head, and you're like, Hunter x Hunter.
Exactly. It's not annoying. Anyway.
But we just finished the first arc, the Hunter exam arc, and I want to know what you think of the show so far, because at this point in the show, they're still like they've sort of built the world, but not really. Like there's weird creatures. And there are people who do things that don't really make sense.
Sure, they're building the world. But like you're just getting a feel. Yeah,
clearly the Hunters are like this pristine organization, but you don't even know, are they even really... Like everyone knows what the Hunters are, but nobody really knows
what exactly
who Hunters are and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like exactly what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And like what they really do. Like, they feel have an idea of what they do, but like everyone's so different. And then like you find out in the middle of the season, there's that one girl who like, oh, I'm like a chef hunter, and you're like,
the gourmet hunter.
Me? Like, yeah, it's like, that's a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's very interesting. So far, I really like the show. I've seen a lot of, I've seen a lot of anime, but I mean comparatively to like when we started watching My Hero. You know what I mean? Like, so like at this point, I've seen enough anime, I feel like.
You've seen pretty much all the big ones except for maybe like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And... maybe some of the older ones like Yu Yu Hakusho, stuff like that.
To give you an idea of how much anime I've seen all of One Piece.
Yeah, she's seen
all of the, basically.
Almost every episode of One Piece. We stopped when they were at like 994.
Yeah.
And we stopped there because there were no more episodes.
Yeah, we stopped once there was no new episodes that had aired yet.
And she started reading the manga, but
I have to get back to it because I'm used to watching the anime. Which is weird because I know most people prefer the manga. But anyway, so at this point, I know what anime is like. I know what makes it work, what makes it not work. And I gotta say, this is a solid, easy to watch show. Like, I really enjoy it, and I think it's really well done. And it's also not intimidating. You know, like One Piece was kind of intimidating when it started out because it's this whole new crazy world with so many episodes, so many characters.
Yeah, the first thing you hear is there's 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. And this one is just like, here's some basic characters and they're gonna take an exam. Yeah. So that made me like intrigued.
Well, that's why when I showed you One Piece, all I showed you was the intro with Gold Roger saying like, I left my treasure here, so you went into it kind of blind. Like, you knew it had to do with pirates and treasure, and then the first episode has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just Luffy coming out of a barrel because he was sleeping in it.
Yeah, this show is very straightforward, and it was like kind of a breath of fresh air, because this is, the last anime we watched was One Piece, so I really liked that.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter really...
I loved One Piece, but...
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter really just kind of throws you into it. It's like, there's this thing called Hunters, this kid is going to take the exam, and here are two other people who also want to take the exam, and they're on a ship now.
Yeah.
And then after that, so they have to do like a series of tests just to start the actual exam.
Yeah, they have a pre-test, basically, which I think is cool, and I love tests and like, battles or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
What do you mean tests and battles?
Sorry, I like Hunger Games, and I love the My Hero arc in season 2 with the, you know what I'm saying? I like that stuff.
You like those kind of like big showdown, sort of like exams / tournaments.
Yeah, I guess tournament.
Yeah,
I love tournaments.
It definitely feels like a tournament arc, but it's not until the very, very end when there's literally the tournament made by Chairman Netero, and he's like making this really messed up tournament. They're like, are you serious? And he's just laughing about it. Yeah. Because he's made this like ridiculously difficult trial for some people, and then for other people it's super easy. Like Hisoka, that was not even... He didn't he gave up half his matches because it was so easy.
Well, yeah, and also even for the other people, it was like, you don't have to... It's not like one person's gonna get that big win. One person is not going to win. So that makes it very different from other, like, tournament-based games and other tournaments.
Yeah, like in My Hero Academia, like she mentioned, there's going to be one winner who gets to be recognized as the top student of the New Year's.
Yeah, in Hunger Games, one person survives. Again, same with like Squid Game. They don't say that out loud, but they don't say that right away.
It's pretty implied that only one of them could survive.
Yeah, so it's like it's very predictable now, and that ending one was not, so that was really cool.
Yeah, and then this one is reversed, where it's like instead of only one person passes, it's only one person can lose.
Exactly.
Except for if someone dies, then 2 people lose, but that's a little...
Yeah, that, You realize that by a point you're like, I don't want to say his name wrong.
Killua?
Yeah, I was gonna say Kahlua again. That's a drink.
The Kahlua.
Killua. I think I've said Kahlua a couple of times. You're like, no. It sounds so...
It just sounds off to me because it's like, it's not Kahlua, it's Killua.
Yeah, Killua. You know, you root for him because you like really actually start to care about him, and like you're really intrigued by his backstory. But then you're like, oh my god, he just kills that guy at the end of the arc.
Yeah,
because he's like, my brother was right.
Well, it's because
be a hunter.
It's because his brother kind of hypnotized him, sort of.
So there's that. That's
sort of thing. They go into it more later in the show. Not really, but they do later explain it a bit.
But it's interesting. You're supposed to root for an assassin. Technically, he's an assassin.
Well, he's not technically. He's straight up.
Yeah.
Like literally,
he was.
When he starts becoming friends with Gon, he literally says like, "Oh, I was raised an assassin. Both my parents are assassins." And I like Gon's reaction is just, "Both of them?"
Yeah.
It's
not
like,
what? That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, "You're not surprised?" And it's like, "No, why would I? Most people like me because I can't tell if I'm joking or being serious." And Gon just takes everything like, "Yep, he's telling the truth."
Yeah, which is like a very much an anime, not trope. It's very common in anime for the main character to be very like straightforward.
It is a trope.
Yeah, I guess I was just trying to think of a more positive way of saying it.
Well, yeah, it's a trope that the main character is very earnest and kind of rash and stubborn, and he has his ideals and he sticks with them, and he just
and he's like, I know what I want and I know who I am, and I'm going to see this thing through no matter what.
And one of the things I like about the show is that it kind of, even from the beginning, and they're gonna say this later, but even from the beginning, they constantly tell you that all the characters are selfish, because being a hunter in of itself, you have to be a very selfish person. You have to be the one who wants to see the world first. You have to be the one who wants to be the strongest. You have to be the one who wants to have these special dishes, like with the gourmet hunters. Like they want
to be special.
Yeah, like the big guy, he just wants to eat all the food. That's pretty selfish of him.
Yeah.
And then the other girl, she wants to eat only the most delicious food. That's kind of selfish of her to be like, your food sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, when they're supposed to be like helping people, but not really.
Well, they never say that hunters help people. They just say that they're really qualified and really they're strong and they're rich is what we learn about them in the beginning. But really, what you learn about them as the series goes on, it's not that they are strong, nor is it that they're rich. It's that they're ambitious.
Sure.
All hunters have some sort of ambition that they let drive them.
Yeah, and they established pretty early on why everyone wants to become a hunter.
Yeah, Leorio is supposed to kind of like be like the everyman. Gon
I just want to be a doctor.
Yeah, Gon is the protagonist character, obviously.
Yeah.
Killua is like the dark friend, the Sasuke kind of character.
He doesn't really even want to be a hunter, but...
Yeah, he's just doing it for fun, because he didn't want to be with his parents anymore.
And he doesn't have that drive to be a hunter, so...
Yeah. So anyways, the beginning of the series starts with this kid Gon, and he's catching this weird bugfish thing.
Yeah.
You remember that?
He's a fisherman.
Well, he's not really a fisherman.
He likes fishing.
Well, it's not that he likes it, it's that he's skilled at it because he grew up in a fishing village.
Yeah.
So he himself is not a fisherman, he just has the skills of one, and then he grew up in nature a lot, because the small island he lived on, it wasn't a city.
Secluded area.
And then we have him on the boat, and he obviously doesn't get seasickness. And then we meet Leorio, the everyman, and then Kurapika, the guy who's like, I need to avenge my family, the edgelord kind of character.
Yeah, the very Sasuke.
Yeah, you would think Killua would be the Sasuke edgelord character, but no, it's Kurapika.
Exactly, who looks pretty wholesome.
Yeah,
he blonde hair. He looks pretty basic.
He looks like your average RPG priest character, where he's like a healer, but no, he's like, I'm gonna kill the spider.
Yes. And my eyes are special.
Which is like, have you ever heard of a cooler assassin group? They're not an assassin group, but like such a cool like dark group name, like the Phantom Troop, aka the Spider.
Yeah.
Like that's just
pretty
like
cool.
I want to use that sort of motif in a D&D campaign or something. It's just like, oh, it's so beautiful, so perfectly done. Like, you know who they are. Anytime someone refers to the Spider, you're like, oh, right, the Spider.
Yeah, like, oh, this is important. Like, we have to. I forgot about this part. Of
and you don't even
backstory.
Meet a single Spider member for like a good.
Yeah, I'm guessing
like
not.
maybe 1/4 the way through the series, you start meeting one or two. And then you eventually just meet the whole group at once.
Right.
But
okay.
I won't spoil it for you. But
so they're clearly like the antagonists, or one of the antagonists.
Because they're antagonists for each section. Like this first section, the antagonist is really the exam, and Tonpa, the fat guy who gave them the poison juice, and then Gon just tastes and is like, how is he supposed to? How did he taste that? It's like that doesn't make it. He's supposed to have no flavor or scent, and he's just like, I think your juice went bad. Doesn't even suspect it. I think Kido was just like, it won't poison me. I've been trained, and it's like, that's not how the human body works.
Yeah,
but okay, anime.
They do the same thing with like in so many anime where they're just like, this is not how a human would be able to react to things, but they're a superhuman without being superhuman.
Yeah, it's like in Pokemon, every time someone gets electrocuted by Pikachu, it's like, no, they should be dead or like have some serious brain damage, but instead you just see their skeleton and then they're just
but that's also just like
it's just cartoons. It's because it's like it's anime logic. So we get the first test is just to get to the test. First they have they have to prove themselves on the ship. If they even
you can't be seasick.
Yeah.
You want to be a hunter. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't have IBS. You can't be seasick. You can't be me.
Get the weaklings out of here.
Get out of
here. Get out of here.
You guys are pussies for just having, bodily reactions, kind of. But it's fair. It's not like I'm like, how dare they?
Well, it's because the hunters are supposed to be the best of the best.
They're super capable. They need to be able to like just survive in the wilderness. Like, it makes sense, and I like that about it because it's like, oh, we're just going to the test.
Yeah, and then there's like, actually, no. This is the beginning of the first part of the pre-test.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then I like how they tell them which ways to go, and our cat wants to get in. Give me a second.
Our cat wants to tell you all about Hunter x Hunter and how much that was so loud. Kitty, you're gonna like scratch into the paint in the door. She's like, I don't give a fuck. Kitty, what did you think of Hunter x Hunter?
I loved Hunter x Hunter because it was really good, and every time we were watching it, they gave me pets and treats, and I want to be a kitty hunter. Meow.
You already are. No, she's really not. She's scared to go outside and be near cars.
Yeah, but she's so beautiful.
Yeah. She will go in the backyard anyway. Okay, moving on. That's our kitty.
You can't really see her right now because we're just petting her. She might jump up on the table, so I might have to yell at her to actually, I'm gonna put you on the ground. Keep you safe. Oh, there you go.
Good girl.
So yeah, we get to the first exam where they have to get the approval of the captain, and then he can be like, yep, this is where you actually have to go.
Right.
Everybody's being told to go into a fake direction to waste time.
That's right. They're just like, you've been ghosted by the exam.
Yeah. The exam doesn't even want you. Okay?
They're just like, you go that way. Mm-hmm. Bye forever.
And then
or till next year.
After that, there's the old lady test.
Oh,
remember where she's like, if you had to save your lover or your mother, which would you pick? And that guy's like, just say what the old lady would like to hear. And she's like, you can go that way. And then the next question is, would you save your son or your daughter? And Leorio's getting like really pissed off, and he's like, how dare you ask such a terrible question?
Yeah, how is there a right answer to that? And there isn't.
Yeah, there isn't. That's the point, is you're not supposed to answer the correct answer.
Exactly.
No answer. And and I love how the old lady's like, I like meeting people like you. That's why I do this every year, because I get to meet good souls who actually care. She's
talking to Leorio?
Yeah, Leorio. Because remember, he was about to hit her.
He's getting so worked up. Yeah,
he literally picked up a stick and he was about to go like wham right on the old lady's head.
He's like, I respect you for hitting an old woman.
And then I love the way how Gon passes. It's not that he's like mad or anything. He's just like, I don't know what the answer is. Like he just sits there for so long.
He's just like, I can't think of a reason why. So I guess I fail. Or I don't know if he's thinking that, but like he's just like, I can't think of an answer, so that's it.
Yeah,
it was just so genuine.
And then we actually get the actual start of the exam.
Yeah, I love that. It's just a test of endurance. Mm-hmm. It's just how long can you run?
It's how long can you run without breaks.
Yeah.
And the first part is just through a tunnel and then up some stairs, and that weeds out a bunch of weaklings. And then, after that, they have to go through a misty forest where they could get tricked by anything. Giant evil turtle dinosaurs with strawberries on their backs. Monkey creatures that make themselves look and sound like humans.
Yeah, see, I didn't love that as much as just the running and the stuff after.
Yeah, well, that was only because it was for, like, an episode or two.
Yeah.
And they get through it
it reminded me too much of Hunger Games. Like, they literally have, like, birds in Hunger Games where they, like, sound like... People. Well, and I know, like, I shouldn't compare, but...
Well, that's a pretty normal thing in a lot of mythologies, so...
I think I just was like, I feel like I've seen this before, so I kind of checked out a little for that, but after that it went back to, like...
actual, like, unique stuff. Because right after that we get the gourmet hunters. Like, the gourmet hunters, you barely see them, but they're so memorable because you're like, the hunters will all be fighters, and they'll want to, like, get treasures and stuff. It's like, no, we want gourmet foods, and how
are you gonna find the gourmet shit you need to make this?
Yeah, and the first thing they're like,
thing.
Just roast the pork, and it's like, no, you have to make it right, and so she fails everybody.
Yeah,
that was fucking funny. And then Neto's like, I don't think so.
No, we gotta have some people be hunters. Yeah.
And then so they do the dream egg thing.
That's right. And
to
then they
show
get
that, like, they actually do dangerous stuff sometimes.
Right. Yes. And then some people just die from that because they're like, oh, I'm going down the canyon, and there's not enough wind or whatever.
Yeah, they did it too early or too late.
Like, ooh, that's rough.
And that's the hunter exam for you. It's just people die all the time on it. It's just expected.
But it's not like the game is, they're trying to get people to die. Like, again, with a lot of other things. Squid Game. Hunger Games, you know, it's like, just like, you might die if you're not strong enough, and are you willing to take that chance?
It's more actually like they tell people, like, it's dangerous, you probably will die if you take this. Most people can't pass this test. They literally tell you, like, it's a dangerous test, it's really difficult, you're probably gonna die.
But most people don't die who fail. A lot of them just
I know, but they tell them that so that way less people...
to discourage, almost, kind of, to be like, don't do this unless you're, like,
because we don't want you unless you're the best of the best.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the fact that they tell you could die and just leave whenever you want is really nice. And then so after that part, we get to where we have the blimp ride, where we learn about Killua being an assassin.
Yes, and then you get this really this is when, like, the show really, like, was intriguing me. There was this really cool shot where these two people, like, come up to him and bug him about something, or, like, bullying him.
What happens is he was in a bad mood, and he bumped into them by accident, and they tried to be like...
They're like, you didn't say sorry, right?
Yeah, and then he just does that and kills them.
Yeah, and you're like, what the... Like, this is actually kind of dark.
Yeah, it's...
You know? And it's like, how did he even do that? And you find out later he's got, like, the claws.
Yeah, he can just, like, manipulate his hand to turn into, like, his fingernails into claws.
Yeah. I just thought it was also a really cool shot where they did the zoom out. I was like, they hadn't done something like that
yet. With a silhouette, too.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, quick. There's no, like, seeing him kill them slowly. He just does it, and they're dead. It's
so abrupt in the best way. So that's when I was really starting to get more intrigued.
And then after that, we have the tower.
Yeah, I really like the tower.
The prison tower is really good because it has a lot of different, like, mental parts of the exam. It's not a bunch of... It's not all physical.
Yeah.
And it starts off, like, really bad because it takes them a while to figure out how to even get down there, and then they're stuck in a room together where they have to wait for a fifth person to show up because...
That was fun.
And then Tonpa shows up, and it's like, of all people, the person who literally doesn't want them to pass because his whole hobby is just making people fail.
Yeah, that was just I did not see that coming. He's just there to annoy people.
Yeah, because he
just make them, like you said, make them fail.
Yeah, he just has fun.
He's not even trying to win, to get be a hunter.
Even though he actually easily probably could.
He probably could at this point, yeah.
Yeah, he's taken it over 140 times and never died.
104? How old is he?
Well, he's in his, like, 30s or 40s, and you can take it once a year. Maybe.
Are you doing that? I don't think you're doing that math right.
Did I say 140? I think I meant to
40.
Yeah, I meant to say, like, 43.
Okay.
I don't know why I said 140.
It's like, what? That's not mathing correctly.
Yeah, I was number one in math.
Yes, you were.
But I'm number one in math. Not true. I've never seen the drug in my life, but...
Yeah.
Back to Hunter x Hunter.
Anyway.
Remember, kids, drugs are bad. Unless they're prescribed by a doctor.
Well said. Well said.
So, Hunter x Hunter. So we get the tower exam, and I like how one of the, we get that battle sort of thing, where it turns out to be more of a battle of wits, not a battle of like fighting.
Yeah.
And we get that gamble with Leorio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really good.
Where she's like, am I a guy or a girl? And he ends up failing it because he just wants to, you know.
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me a little, but okay. I get his humor.
Yeah.
I was like...
She also, like, agreed to... She's the one who brought it up, and he was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
And then Gon is like, make him guess if you're make her guess if you're a teenager or not. And she goes...
Oh, yeah.
What? He's clearly not a teenager. And he goes, I'm obviously a teenager. She's like, what?
Yeah, then they also could have won.
Yeah, but Leorio was too prideful for that
that's right.
one. So they end up doing rock, paper, scissors, and then he ends up wasting 50 hours.
That's true. And then like, what's his name was kind of trying to make it like psych him out after that. You know, like the guy who's trying
Tonpa.
Yeah, Tonpa. But nothing really came of that. You know what I mean?
It did slow them down, and they almost ran out of time, and they did have that fight in that room with the weapons.
Yeah.
And they almost killed each other, and then Gon figured out that you can't break the doors, but you can break the walls. So just open this door,
yeah,
and then break the wall next.
Which again was really clever.
Yeah, and they let him pass because it's like,
yeah,
as long as you would be clever like that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I also like about the game too. Is it's not like there's like a right or a wrong, clear, like you can't do this. If you do, you'll die, or you'll fail. Like it's like you can find your way out of it. Like it's more like, what's the word? Realistic for like
I would say it's fair is what it is.
It's just very fair, which is like okay,
because there's no wrong answers, there's just you figure this out, or you don't. That's it,
because they're really applying like real world scenarios,
more or less,
you know, like in a real world in a real world scenario you could find a way out of the situation in a way that is not the most clear cut answer or the most like,
except for they animate it up.
Yeah, of course. They're not gonna... They still need to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
They still have to make it fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, I love it. I love how Leorio looks like he's in those, like, 30s, but he's supposed to be, like, 18 or something.
I know.
Like, those are some serious sideburns, but I guess it's just supposed to be, like, you know, those people who have an old face when they're young sort of thing? Like, they grow
really
into their look.
And I really like his arc of, like... Well, not really an arc, but he's like, you find out, he's like, oh, I just want money. And I'm like, that's not interesting. Then you find out he wants to be a doctor.
Yeah, which requires lots of money.
Lots of money. And then, of course, he's also very intelligent, which I also really liked in the building thing when he was like, this guy's got to be faking being unconscious. So that was his moment to shine.
Yeah.
You know, when what is it? You know what I'm talking about.
When the blue skin guy was faking his death.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm gonna put him over on the edge here.
And if he's dead, he'll just fall. And if he's not, he'll wake up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was pretty good.
That was good for him to shine. I hope he has more moments to shine because I really like his character.
I won't say too much, but
I hope so.
He definitely doesn't have any moments that make him look bad.
I like him more than Eye Guy.
Oh, Kurapika. Kurapika, like I said, he's the edgelord character. Like, he's got a cool story that builds out the world more.
Yeah.
With the Phantom Troop and the Kurta clan with the red eyes.
I just find Killua and Gon and
Leorio.
I'm really bad at names. I'm really sorry. It takes me a while, but yes, and I like them more than the other guy, but. I still like him. You know.
So you say you like Gon, Killua, Leorio, and then Kurapika in kind of that order?
Yeah, but Kurapika, I liked him more at the beginning of the test, for some reason.
It's because at the beginning he's being very intelligent, but not too antagonistic to Leorio.
I guess. I'm not really sure. It's not that I dislike him at all. I still think he's a really good character. I don't know, but I do like him.
Yeah, I understand. I like Kurapika too, but I agree, like, his whole Phantom Troop thing is, like, cool, and it's good for world building and, like, the edgy, like, I have to revenge for my clan and for their eyes. But as, like, a character, he's good, but he doesn't really draw you into the show quite so much. That's why he's not the main character. Gon is clearly, like, the one that draws you in.
Yeah.
That's why he's the main character.
Absolutely.
And I think the reason we like Leorio is because we usually like the everyman character a lot because you want to root for them.
Absolutely.
They're kind of like the underdogs in these kind of scenarios, whereas everybody else seems like at this like really high level. Like Gon is super powerful, super strong, and he has a lot of stamina. He can hold his breath for apparently 9 minutes.
Yeah, because that's possible as a human being.
Yeah, and then Killua is like the ultimate assassin character who can modify his body to make the claws. Yeah. And then Kurapika knows how to fight, I guess.
He's really good fighter, and he's like really intelligent. But then so is Leorio. So it's just that like Leorio isn't as good of a fighter as those three. Yeah, you don't
get to see Leorio's intelligence enough because his is more like book smarts, not street smarts.
Yeah.
Like being
okay.
able to
Well,
read
that's
people.
fair. That's fair, and that's like common. That's very much a thing for the other three. I feel, especially Gon.
Well, Gon isn't street smart. He's more nature smart.
Yeah, but I mean, he follows his intuition well, Gon. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's because he's nature smart. That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he has a good natural intelligence, whereas Kurapika has a good, like, interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligence.
Yeah.
Where he's able to kind of read things, and he's like, okay, well, this means this, and that means that. So I can piece that information to figure this out. Whereas Leorio's like, I know medicine. I know how to, like, bandage a wound, clean it out.
Yeah, he's like very much like the audience's character of like just how the hell are we gonna figure this out? That does like with the test with like who would you save, your mother or your wife or your daughter? Like,
no, it's your mother or your wife.
Whatever. Either way, it's like he's the audience being like how could you pick that? So like he is very much like the voice of the audience, which is always a good character to have. And he and speaking of that, like, oh my god, how are they gonna do this? Like, they have just like in so many anime, because the anime is incredible.
Yeah.
They have so many moments of like, how the hell are they gonna get out of this? How are they gonna figure this out? Like, it delivers so well in this show as well.
It does. And then, you know, after the tower arc, we get the badges with you gotta hunt down your target.
Yeah.
And keep your own badge on that little island for 3 days, or was it? No, it was a week. It was a week. You have a week to get either
very clever
your target's badge plus your own, which is 2. Your own badge is 3 points for you, and your target's badge is 3 points for you. And then any other person's badge is 1 point for you. So either 6 of any other person's badges, your badge and 3 other badges, or your badge and your target's badge.
So there's always somebody after you, and you're always after somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's...
And anybody could be after you. You don't know who you can trust and who you can't trust. But I love it shows Gon learning to use his natural ability to hide.
Yeah.
And using a fishing pole to catch a bird, by the way. That was like the most interesting thing. It's like, how's he going to do it? And it's like, when he's middle of hunting the fish.
Yeah. Him figuring that out wasn't the most exciting, but I get why it was in the story. Oh, and really quick, I really liked how they did that one scene with the like, we got to see whose candle burns out faster. Whoever's candle burns out faster.
Oh, yeah, that was a good scene.
Loses. And you're like, okay, so he's going to switch it, but maybe he's not. Oh, no. And... you find out, you know, he does you dirty, and he like, you know.
Yeah, he had
he always has the one that the fast one always gonna go to his opponent. But I love how I'm like, how is he gonna get out of this? And it's like this simple thing of just Gon being fast.
Yeah, he's like
blowing out his candle.
Yeah, he's like, well, it won't go out if the fire burns so strong.
Yeah,
a simple breeze won't put it out. So he just runs over and just blows out the other guy's candle.
And it's so clever, which is why I was like, oh, Gon's actually, again, I guess it's nature smart.
Yeah, he just has good instincts. He naturally understands like how things work, and he's like
nature apparently.
Okay, you can try to trick me, but I'll just perform your tricks.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Yeah, so I thought that was really clever. I like that. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, that was a really good scene because it shows that Gon may not be like smart, like he can think things through. But he's smart in the sense that he can figure out very simple things. Same with that room with all the weapons where he's like, wait, the weapons break the walls. Yeah. So we could use that.
He's good at thinking in the moment. Yeah. As long as he has a moment to think, I think.
Yeah.
How many times can I say it?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. So yeah, back to... that was actually... I forgot about that one, so thank you for reminding me of that. Back to the hunting exam, though. We get to see him hunting Hisoka, who we've already seen is really strong, really capable, able to just kill people easily. Not even hard for him, and he likes fighting.
He likes it.
He enjoys being on the razor's edge of death and fighting an opponent.
Yeah, one could say he likes it a little too much, in a weird way.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But he we get Gon hunting him, and then of course someone's hunting Gon.
Yeah, which he is like, I remember I was like, Gon, come on, you gotta be thinking about the other person, right? Like, he completely just freaking forgot about that.
Well, it's because he realized the best time to catch your prey is when it's so focused, it's not...
Yeah.
Its guard isn't enough.
Which is true. And
the whole time, Gon is so focused, his guard wasn't enough.
Yeah, so then that guy almost got his tag, and he lost the exam, but didn't.
Then Hisoka gave it back to him because he's like, you should be strong enough to be able to finish in time, so... And he's like, I want to respect how far you've gone, and I don't want to ruin your efforts. And this guy turned out to be my target.
Yeah. Hisoka's interesting I mean, like, I get that, like, he sees Gon's potential, but it's also like, why do you like him so much?
It's because he has potential.
I know, but, like, wouldn't you just want to kill him now before he could, like, potentially...
No,
but he wants to be worthy enough to fight.
No, what Hisoka wants is he wants to fight someone who is as powerful or stronger than him, and then destroy them.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like...
Which would work in theory.
What do you mean, work in theory?
Well, like, what if someone's so strong they just beat his ass?
Yeah, that's also what he wants. He wants to fight a powerful opponent. Yeah. He doesn't... Because it's
He's bored. Almost.
Sort of, yeah. It's like the difference between someone who hunts rabbits versus people who hunt bears. Like, rabbits are easy to kill. Sure, they'll run away, but they don't...
Yeah.
They die easily. Bears you have to track down, but you also have to make sure they don't notice you.
Yeah.
You have to kill them with something strong enough to actually kill them, and if you hit them and they notice you, then they're just gonna be mad and they're just gonna come after you.
Yeah, it's the thrill and the risk involved.
Yeah. So that's what Hisoka likes, is he likes that power that he can see Gon has the potential to build up to become this really powerful threat that could fight me, and we could both be on razor's edge thin chance of death.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense.
And at least he's honorable, where he's like, I will let you grow, and then I'll kill you. I'm not just gonna kill you right here.
Exactly.
And the reason he usually kills other people is because he sees that they have no potential. They think they're already good enough, and they don't need to improve.
And he's like, well, I'll show you, now you're dead.
Yeah.
Hisoka's interesting. I really like his character.
He's interesting. And when you first see him, you're just like, what's this weird clown
here? You're just like, who's this weirdo? Who's this freak?
Who cut off this guy's hand?
Yeah, and then you're also like, who's this other guy with the weird acupuncture?
The pins and needles.
Yeah, which then you find out is
Kito's brother, Irumi. Yeah.
Which is like a good twist, but it wasn't like blown away.
Yeah, it's not supposed to blow you away, it's just supposed to be more like, oh, so like, that's who he is. And then you see the way he influences Killua. That's what's supposed to make you go, wait, someone is scarier than makes Killua scared? The guy who ripped out a person's heart was just like, yeah, that's not hard. His brother makes him go, I give up. I don't want to fight.
Yeah.
And that's what causes everybody else to pass, because Killua gets so freaked out by his brother that he just kills a guy when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, that poor guy. I mean, at least that guy was older, so he's lived a life, but oof.
Yeah.
Poor bastard. That's what I was talking about before. I was like, we're supposed to root for him? You just killed that guy in cold blood. But you still do, so.
Yeah, that's true. And then, of course, that ends the hunter exam, and finally Gon becomes a hunter, Leorio becomes a hunter, Kurapika becomes a hunter, but Killua doesn't. He can take it again, but he
only really did it, too, because he was curious how hard it would be.
And, of course, you see Gon's very earnest, honest self being like, how dare you hurt Kito's feelings, and he breaks
breaks his arm.
Irumi's arm just by squeezing it, and Irumi's just like, potential.
Yeah, exactly.
And then of course he's like, maybe I should get rid of him as a threat, because he could turn Killua soft, and Hisoka goes, that's my prey. If you get in the way of my prey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was really good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so that's the end of the hunter exam, and then next we're gonna have Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio go find Killua and have him go on an adventure or something. Just say like, you don't have
just going on an adventure.
Because he's like, you don't have to prove to be my friend. We're already friends.
Yeah.
You no one has to tell you who you can and can't be friends with. I'm your friend. We're friends already, and they're just going there to prove that.
I really like their friendship already.
And so that's where the hunter exam ends.
Yeah.
And so what did you think of the show so far?
Overall, I really like it. I give it like a solid 8 out of 10.
Do you want to keep going with
it? Yeah, of course. It's easy to watch too.
Yeah, it just the episodes go by so smoothly.
They're so fast.
Like you're just like, I'm on episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. like the problem with One Piece kind of in the beginning is it's like, okay, we're on episode 1, 2, 3, and then once you get to Arlong Park, you're like, okay,
yeah,
let's see where it goes. And then after Arlong Park is Alabasta, where you're like, okay, what's next?
There's a lot of more dips, and like the highs are really high in One Piece, but the lows can be like,
they're not really lows.
Not really lows.
They're not lows, they're slows.
But slows, that's accurate.
It's not dips and lows, it's dips and slows.
And there's a lot of lore in One Piece, too.
Yeah, well, that's because...
But that's true of any show.
Yeah, there's lore in Hunter x Hunter, but not really. There's world building.
Yeah.
The most you get out of Hunter x Hunter is like, he's from an island. They live in this country on a mountain. Here's York New City, which I wonder what that could be based off of. And then later you find out about like some weird creatures. In a later arc, someone's speaking.
Sorry. Yes, York New City.
Yeah. Oh.
More obvious. That's pretty good. Very, very clever. They mean Gotham City.
Oh, true. You're right. Sorry. Yeah, Gotham City.
Obviously.
Like there isn't as much world building in Hunter x Hunter. There is, but there isn't.
Yeah.
You'll understand by the end of it. You'll be like, how much of the world do I know about? Almost nothing. But it's because Hunter x Hunter is all about the adventure.
Yeah.
Whereas One Piece and a lot of other shows are like, this is about this character's story. Or One Piece it's about the adventure, but also there's this huge world and lore that you're going to learn
so much about the world
on top of the adventure, and it's about all these characters' motivations.
Yeah. So this is a little more like straightforward in that aspect, and it's like you're just really like. Yeah, and you're clearly just like you're in Gon. You're here along on the ride with Gon, and you're just here in the present. With what he learns, you learn. What he does, you do. No.
I don't think I ever stood on one hand.
I do that all the time. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so ripped. Yeah.
No, she's lying. There's no hole on her stomach. Ripped.
Yeah. Okay.
Bad joke. Ding. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, guys. That was Claire's and my thought about Hunter x Hunter, the Hunter exam. Her first time watching it, my second time watching it. Watching it through the second time, there's some little details. Now, most of the things you kind of just get through your first viewing. You don't really need anything new, but watching it and going like, oh, this is where this part happens. Right. Oh, I remember these characters. The great thing on Hunter x Hunter is all the characters are so unique. You never really forget them. Like, even like the really minor characters like Tompa, he's only in the first arc, but you never forget him. You might forget his name, but you'll always remember that character.
They stand out. Yeah, like that one nerdy kid who just like loses
with
after.
With the laptop.
Yeah.
You never learn his name, but you always remember. He's like he's that asshole who's like, I'm so smart I can figure it out, and he can't even run.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, it only needs to be 40 kilometers, and after 50, he's like, what is this?
Yeah,
it's like, that's what you get for being on the computer all the time.
It really stands out. Yeah, I really like their characters all really stand out. I really like it.
Yeah. It just. And that was one of the great things. And the unfortunate thing about this series is that the creator has been making manga for like 3 or 4 decades, and so he has a bunch of health problems because of it, like a spine problem and other stuff. And because of that, it takes him a really long time to make chapters. And so unfortunately, there's the typical joke of this is hiatus, because it's always on hiatus, which it is. We're not making fun of him we're not being mad, but it's a true fact. It is pretty much always on hiatus. But the good shining beacon of it is he says he wants to finish the series before he dies. And worst case scenario, his wife, who created the Sailor Moon manga, so she can do it just as well as him, knows the ending, and she can finish it if he dies, which is always...
That's good to hear.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not good to hear that. If he dies, everything will be like, hey, like, who cares about him? But no, I mean, like... Like,
it's good that his work will live on.
But there's still, like, he has a contingency plan.
Yeah, and you can clearly...
And he wants his work to live on.
Yeah, you can clearly tell with every story and arc, he literally puts his soul into it. And it's so beautiful. I haven't read his other series or watched them. I might someday. I haven't decided yet. But this is the one I really like. There's a reason it's existed for over 2 decades, because it started in the 90s. I told you that, right? This isn't even the original anime. Yeah,
they like revamped it, right?
Yeah, they made the original one in the 90s, and then in 2011 they reanimated the whole thing.
That's right.
And they added the last 2 arcs that I don't think were in there when the 90s version came out. But it's been like a few years since we've gotten a chapter of Hunter x Hunter, and they're in the middle of another arc right now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like worse than One Piece, where you have to wait for chapters, but It's worth it because the way where the anime ends, you could end the series here, but it leaves there. You know, there's enough. You'll understand when we get there.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to more episodes?
Of course.
If you had to delete one character, who would it be?
You know how you don't want intros to be too long? Outros to be too long? Mm-hmm. This is an example of that right now.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that. Tompa? The jerk?
Thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. Because you clicked, if you click that like button, I'll get some special kitty treats. Meow meow.
See you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thank you for sticking to the end. If you liked the video, click that like button. Would really help me out. Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you want to talk about Hunter x Hunter with me live, go to my Twitch channel. Link in the description.